Welcome to RealCast by TM. RealCast is about real stories, real talk, and the world of real estate. Today's guest actually doesn't need any introduction. He's the most famous guy in the market at the moment, a star of Million Dollar Listing UAE. He ranked number 3 top broker of 2024 by Arabian Business. And although we fought a lot, we managed to survive the chaos and stay good friends. He's well educated, he's very smart, and I love to pick his brain about Dubai real estate today. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please welcome the one and only unstoppable Riad Gohar.
Wow.
Welcome to the show.
Wow. Thank you so much. And I'm blushing right now. Humbled and glad you didn't mention the part of, hopefully you're not going to mention the part of survival, what happened with that. But thank you for the introduction. It's a pleasure.
That's the intrigue, right? That's the intrigue.
It's a very good teaser.
Watch till the end.
Oh my God.
You will get to know what happened.
Thank you for having me today. It's been a pleasure working side by side with you for the past 4, 5, 6 years.
Yes.
It's been a great ride, and I'm very honored to be one of your RealCast
Guests. You're not a guest.
So you get me with a very
friend.
big introduction, so I'm humbled. Thank you so much.
Yeah, this is true. I mean,
Let's go ahead straight on with that scary question so we get it over with.
No, man, this is gonna be like, as I said, it's real talks, real stories. So that's why I mentioned that we
had a great time. Just to emphasize, we were great friends. We worked together. We did a great project together.
We'll talk about it.
We did sleepless nights together, and
it was fun.
It was fun.
It was fun. That's what I said.
Yes.
Although we fought,
and it was COVID time as well, so
it was very stressful. It was very stressful. But
I love you, man.
Me too, man. Me too. We managed to basically survive that chaos. And stay good friends.
Absolutely.
So we're not enemies, guys. That was a joke, just to intrigue. We are good friends, and I invite to my podcast. I don't do any collaborations, like paid and this and that. So this is like purely informative, and I invite good friends.
Yes.
The people that I believe they will add value to my audience.
Thank you so much.
And,
Hopefully we do. Hopefully we do.
Let's like the first question, basically. Let's start from tell us about your story. Like,
my story.
Okay, you are top broker, Million Dollar Listing star, but who is basically the actual Riad Gohar? Tell us your story, Paul.
Well, I mean, I definitely have to give credits to people who supported me to the recent success, and I have to mention Ben Bandari by name because he really gave me a chance to showcase who I am and what I do, and of course everybody who came into my life since. I've been in the industry for 20 years. I've started as a pharmacist. That was my background. I carried bag as a medical rep, went door knocking to doctors, and did the whole career ladder and all that corporate world. I've done a lot of other businesses in my life. I worked in FMCG, in tobacco industry, in production, and R&D for medical devices, and so done the whole thing. And then back in 2006, I discovered real estate. I went into real estate, and through my wife, who was in real estate. She started in like 2002. She's like veteran, like Ben, in terms of like the days they started. So I got into real estate. It was great, but I had a great base of knowledge in terms of sales skills and so on. So I went into from the pharma to the real estate industry. We developed our first real estate company in 2006, and then by 2009. We had to regroup and re-change our way of business because after the market, the economical reset and so on. So we went into a branded company. So we branded with a British international franchisee back in 2011. And then we were dominating the market in the ready properties and we were doing great marketing at the time. You would find us on all these property weekly magazines and Gulf News, newspaper. Back in the days, it was super hard to market, super expensive to market, and the commissions were very little. I mean, some developers weren't even paying commission. So we had to like do the door knocking and, you know, all that hard work. And nowadays it's super easy. You know, you do digital work, you're on social media, you get leads, and you get the highest, you know, commission. So, you know, it's a completely reverse engineering business right now. But so in 2018, the franchisees ceased to exist. So over here, so I was approached by the contractors who were building the SLS Dubai. I was then hired as their commercial director, where I overseen the entire, you know, launch, feasibilities, pricing, marketing, sales, and my fellow colleague who was one of my first partners in SLS. We worked together side by side, sleepless nights.
He's the one who convinced me actually joined SLS.
Exactly. I saw him walking in, and he actually walked in with another friend. He wasn't even coming to SLS. He was coming with his friend.
Yes, I came to check the project.
I checked the project, and your friend was coming for actually to potentially work.
Yes.
And then I was like, hey, took the crew aside, hey, I love, man, the way you look. You're inspiring. Why don't you join us? So it was a fun story. So then we did a great work with SLS. It was a very difficult time, very difficult market. COVID took place. The market was used to small sizes of units, and we managed to sell big sizes at high ticket price.
Yes.
So we really changed. We did well. We
nailed it.
We nailed it.
We nailed it.
We created the first fraction ownership. So that was our baby, right? Yeah. So we did. So, you know, we changed as well. We left like a fingerprint in the industry. I like to say.
True. 100%.
And that's it. And then afterwards, I, said thank you so much to the management and moved on to open my brokerage firm again, Black Oak Real Estate, which I love. I love working with clients. I love B2C. I love to work with, with customers and be part of this journey. And that's it. We've done so well. The first year, bang on, like some big deals, some breaking records. And I was then approached by the production team for Million Dollar Listing.
That's my next question, actually.
Yeah.
That is my next question. So, tell us about the story. How you were selected for $1 Million Listing.
It was a very stressful experience. I'm sure you know.
Sure. Yeah.
So
but I want to hear from you.
Well, it was obviously, I knew Ben from a long time ago. I worked with Ben almost 15, 17 years ago, something like that. We've closed deals together in Jumeirah Park and in other areas. And we kept our friendship over the years. And I met him by coincidence when I was still in SLS and I was moving, and I met him in a bank. And he was telling me that he's doing this. And he's been fighting over the years now with, getting the franchisee here and all this, the hardship that he's been trying to do. And he finally managed to get, the production on the house and, on board and so on. And then he told me, you have to leave you have to start the brokerage. So that's one of the also motivation for me to go back into brokerage. So, we worked together in that. I looked at what he's doing and I was very inspired. I moved to the brokerage. And then after a few months, and I did some, big deals on the Palm. Very quickly on, I never left really the real estate. I've been 20 years in it, right?
Of course.
SLS was just part of, the whole scope that I'm doing. So I was approached then by an email that was sent to a lot of brokers. And then I responded and I was picked up by the, in the email, they said, go ahead and submit us with a video.
Okay.
So I went and I submitted. I did a video for Dubai Hills. In Fairways, and it was.
I think it was a mansion.
It was one of the Fairways Vistas properties, but it was full of art. So I called it the artist home, and I did a really cool.
Yeah, I remember that video. It was very cool.
Actually, it was the video that I put on YouTube, and I got an incredible organic reach.
Yeah, I remember you told me this.
I actually got a client who bought from me a 60 million house on the Palm from that.
Wow.
It's the only client that I ever received from YouTube. And I actually did that. 67 million, actually. So
you covered all these years.
So, exactly.
In 1 minute.
In 1 week.
Yeah.
So I submitted the video. They liked it a lot. And then it was a year and a half of just gruesome interviews and after interviews and interviews after interviews, and then you go to the next step, and then a video interview, and then a face-to-face interview, and then they ask you for other tasks, and then they want to see other, what listings do you have, what have you closed, what are you ranked in the land department, how many category of stars you are. Like, they wanted to grill you. And so we were stressed every time. Even Ben, he's the executive producer, right? And he was stressed until last night, and a night before we were picked. We would talk who do you think they would choose? And because it was disqualifying. So thousands of people, and then hundreds of people, and then tens of people, and then the last stage was we would go. I remember we would go and we would see each other in the hotel, one after the other, sitting on a chair like this, with the showrunner of the show, and she was grilling us with interviews. And then I would see the next person coming. I remember we were 8 or 9, and each one is seeing the one after leaving, and it was just very stressful. And then that's it. And then we were picked, and it was a great experience. I mean,
and great success.
Changed my
I know.
life.
Even Ben. Big hi to Ben from here. I'm sure he will watch this.
Better.
For sure. Ben told me as well, he wasn't even sure in the first episode what I've done with him. He said even I wasn't sure.
Yes.
I'll be selected.
Although
he's a executive producer and he brought the show, there wasn't no guarantee.
It's the word, the say was imagination and Starzplay.
Yeah.
That's the final call. No one had
you guys, nailed it. Especially, you and Ben, and you really nailed it.
I think there was a charisma between us that made us.
It was fun. It was everything. So
wait for season 2. It's gonna be bigger and better.
Yeah, and congrats.
Thank you.
You guys started already season 2.
Yes, we started filming.
Yesterday. So that's fantastic.
It's amazing. It's
congrats. Stressful,
but I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed to be part of it again.
But do you think what was the main reason you were selected to Million Dollar Listing? Do you think your previous experience of
acting?
Shall we talk about that?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Let's talk about that. Not everyone knows that Riad Gohar was actually one of the famous actors in Egypt, right? Back in
the days. Now, so I did a sitcom. I used to do commercials. So at a young age, I used to work. I wanted to make my own money. So at a young age, I think at the age of 13 or 14, I started doing commercials. Maybe I've done over 100 commercial in my my time. And then when I was 18 or 19, I did a movie, which was a very successful movie. It was controversial. It won awards. It was not even allowed to be aired for 3 years because of a controversial thing that I cannot say. But it was a really good movie. A brilliant movie. It was exceptional. Everybody won awards. It was just that kind of movie. From there, I got to take part and star in the first ever Arabic sitcom.
Okay.
It was called Shabab Online. So if you go on YouTube, you can find it.
Okay. Make sure you guys check.
And it's a great experience. But yes, it did help me to understand. Standing in front of camera is very hard.
It's very hard.
Very hard.
Yeah.
And knowing which camera is yours and ignoring the camera is one of the hardest thing, because you want to be natural. You don't want to be theatrical.
True.
And also this is reality. So of course it's even another layer of hardship. Having a script and knowing what we're saying and knowing which one is your cue. You're going to tell me something. I know when you're stopping. Then I have a few seconds. Then I start talking. I know the cues, right? So we know the script and we know the story. Reality is another monster. There's no script. You have to get permits for everywhere, and you need to make sure that you have business during filming. And filming is not every day. Filming could be next week, hey, we're gonna have the camera in the next 2 days next week. Make sure you have business. Everybody who's watching and knows in real estate, it's unpredictable, right? Because obviously we've been doing this for so long, we're always busy, right?
Yes.
But it did help. Definitely did help.
Yeah.
Yes. So thanks for bringing this up.
For sure. Okay, so you said already the story that you left SLS. I remember we left at the same time.
Yes,
I left, and I think in a few weeks.
In a few weeks, I called you. I said to Grul, I love you, man. You're one of my favorite friends ever. If I ever did you wrong, I'm sorry. We're buddies. It was very stressful. We didn't have a fight. Everything was good. Okay, so don't pick on that.
Watch till then.
But I did call him and I tell him I love you, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. So that's in the past. So, but we have friendship now.
Absolutely.
So now, tell us like about your current focus. Like, I know you are one of the co-founders, right? One of
Yes.
the founders
Yes.
of
Yes.
Black Oak, which
Yes.
is very successful real estate agency.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, I think
Try our best.
mostly because of, I will not hesitate to say because of you, probably.
I mean, it's all a teamwork. I can't be anything without the entire, partners. I call
Yes, of
everybody
course, of course.
in my team are partners. I
Yeah.
call everyone as a partner. My photographer is a partner. My admin is a partner. Everybody is a partner. That's how we look at it, because everybody comes to work and give their own take, and if they feel their ownership to the business they do, then they give more. It's an
Yes.
entrepreneurial business. It's not a corporate or a career or
Yeah, I love
or
that, yes.
It's more of an entrepreneurial business. So it all has to do with everyone. The life has given me, I'm blessed to be able to be creative and to come up with ideas all the time.
Yeah.
So it did help,
Sometimes with crazy ideas, I know
yes.
that.
Yes.
But it was, yeah, I mean, some of them worked really well.
Yeah.
You know?
So that's so all these experiences are
From the
inherited.
previous experience of
Yes.
SLS.
Yes. Now you get
Yeah.
inherited experiences that pave the way, and if you utilize your leverage on your past
Yeah.
experience, you can do so well. So yes, I founded with my partner Black Oak. We met in China. We were on a panel where Road Belt initiatives, and back in the days where we were promoting Dubai and so on, and with Dubai Chamber of Commerce, and we developed friendship, and years later we said, hey, let's do this together. He's more on a Wall Street type of a guy, so he's more of a real estate fund. So he was in the Emirates REIT and all Peninsula and all these real estate funds. So we bring in two flavors together. So the brokerage side, the funds, and the that kind of raising asset management and so on, and we bring
That's
this
the best duo,
yeah,
actually.
exactly.
Amazing. So, where you guys are focusing, what you are selling, is it mainly secondary or you do everything? Tell us a little bit about
So
that.
I'm from the school of, I'm an advisor, and I cannot separate the two. Big companies like to separate two. They like to have specialization and having each one works in a different, only offline, only ready, because for them it's a quantity over quality. It makes more money for them to have separate agents doing separate things. And then I don't care if you miss out, you give it to the other person. For me, I bring in very successful, intelligent people, and I make them the best that they can be. I teach economics, I teach finance, I teach sales, I teach psychology. I train them in infiltrating thoughts and how to know the numbers, how to be very effective in advising the client. What should he do next? They are the spokesman and the convincing factor for the client. So I do not like to separate. Each one should be knowledgeable about both and should be very
100%.
powerful
I
in
agree
his
with
knowledge and convincing, because knowledge is power. Now, but if you want to dominate your area, then of course, specialization is great. So specialize maybe in secondary in where you live, but then have the ability to know all the markets so that you can capture any opportunity. And we're a boutique company. We're 30 brokers, something like that. So we're not like the 400 where I can segregate and then, okay, this division here, this division here. So that's basically what boutique functions best.
So you do everything.
We do both secondary, but we're very picky when it comes to off-plan. We study the market. See, there is a vibe right now. Why do I tell people rent your lifestyle, buy your investment? Because your lifestyle right now to buy it is all-time high. It's expensive. If I want to live in a nice house and because I want the beach style, then I'm gonna go and buy and pay 50 million or 30 million or 40 million. But I can rent it. If I have this money, I better rent it for $1 million, okay? And invest in off-plan. Now, we see the off-plan right now is 30-40% cheaper than ready and in prime location. So you get on the water project like in Dubai Island and the future waterfront and so on. There's 30-40% cheaper than even in the desert where you have Dubai Hills and all these places. So why would I go into the desert and buy a ready at this price when I can buy next to the beach off-plan and it's way cheaper? But then this volatility and this sort of vibe the trend changes.
Yeah.
So if the trend changes to ready, because now there are less population growth. If there is less population growth, meaning less people are buying. If there are more investors from overseas, meaning their push of off-plan is higher. So the off-plan goes more, so the price of off-plan is higher. So we need to study the market and see where we are And based on it, we advise the client. Now it's time to buy ready, or now it's time to buy off plan.
Okay, fantastic. You're covering all of my questions, actually.
Very quickly. I talked too much, sorry.
No, that's yeah, but I mean, question is good because then we can
elaborate more on it.
Yeah, of course. Okay, I mean, that was actually, we'll discuss this.
Yes,
about
absolutely.
the areas. So,
Yes.
I mean, that's, let's talk about SLS Dubai. I mean,
Yes.
you talked briefly, but let's dig into that because we've done this.
Yes.
And so the big question is like, what were the biggest challenges? Let's discuss that together. You know, what were our biggest challenges?
Our biggest
and
challenges.
how did we overcome and, you know, make it?
Yes.
I mean, I can proudly say that.
Yeah,
It's
I think
not-
you should
it's not,
start.
bragging, it's reality. We actually made, I mean, me, you, Gina,
Yeah.
Ba,
Yeah.
hi to everyone, like old OGs,
Yes,
right,
the
of
OGs,
SLS.
yes.
So actually, I think it's because of us this project was successful, and of course, you as a leader, you know, leading us in the right direction. So let's discuss the challenges. Like,
So I would say, look at where we are right now. Yourself, mashallah, you've been, you know, dominating the market, and you're a leader yourself right now, and everybody, you know, watch
Appreciate
you
that.
and sees what you do, and your closing level and your closing rates are amazing. Look at Shkipa right now; she just got promoted as the VP
Yes.
of sales with one of the major developers.
Congratulations, Gina.
Congratulations,
Shkipa.
Shkipa. So, you know, a lot of people came out of the school, was incredible. It was challenging, and that challenge game makes you more experienced. It's the amount of no's that gets you better, not the amount of yes, right? Because yes, everything is easy. The challenge, I would say, we launched at a time a product that was not known, which is duplexes and lofts, 1,100, 1,200 square feet of a one bedroom. And the market all around was in a decline.
yes,
The 2015 all the way to 2019, the market's been shifting not in a positive way, because, you know, the oil crisis and then the Brexit in the US, where everybody started focusing on investing in the UK, where everybody
yes.
started investing in UK. There was the trade war as well in 2018. There was the mainstream cryptos, where everybody started investing in crypto. So the shift of investment over here started diminishing, and supply started coming a lot. So all the market, whether we're talking about Shoba or in Heartland, or we're talking about Dubai Hills or Creek Harbor, all that stuff were made of, let's build small,
correct.
keep the price per square foot high, so our, you know, shareholders are happy, and we're making, you know, triple 10x of what we used to make before. So the market started using a 600 or 500 square feet for a one bedroom, and a 900 to 1,000 square feet for a two bedrooms. And we were selling a one bedroom at 1,100, 1,200 square feet. So that was the first challenge, is that how can I justify my one bedroom at 2.2 million when everybody's selling a two bedroom at 1.4 million? That was the first challenge. Second challenge, I guess, is that nobody knew what is SLS. It's a very high-end brand in the US, in Beverly Hills, but nobody knew it over here. The location, a lot of people had, it was tough. I mean, you tell me a little bit. You were telling me about these.
I'll add.
You were the front man who were talking to the clients, right?
I think that was the biggest challenge, location. Yeah, I mean, whatever you said, I agree with that. And the brand resonances back then, it wasn't that trending, right?
Yes.
So starting 2021, we saw the peak
boom
November
in branded
of,
resonance.
2021, like a lot of like millionaires, like rich people, they saw how Dubai handled the COVID situation.
Correct.
They were very interested that they moved here, they moved their funds, and they were looking for something
easy
like,
to live.
Yeah, easy to live and special. Like, you know, we have done, I mean, you and me, and we have done deals like I've converted the guy who wanted to buy a Palm and SLS. Like, it's two different, you know, locations, like
Exactly.
beachfront
Yes.
and like in the middle of the road. I mean, with my all due respect, right?
Yes.
So, but why? Because of the lifestyle and this and that. So but then it changed. Yeah, I agree with you. Then,
But remember one thing, I don't think anybody, I think this story is the most fun story about our life, is that during COVID,
yes,
we were all in curfew, sitting in our homes,
Yes.
and we would be going on Zoom almost every day, all of us
Almost
together,
every day,
and coming up with ideas. What should we do? How should we do it? We were working during COVID.
Yes.
Every day we were doing Zooms, and we were sharing ideas, and we were doing training, and everybody would come and chair the training. And let me tell you something. So we used to do weekly invite agents to the company.
Yes.
And we used to chair everyone from us. We would be presenting. And in the beginning, everybody was panicking except Tugrul. So it was me and Tugrul always that we would
were
be
taking
doing
this-
in front of like 200 people, 50
yes,
people, 100
correct.
people were doing a presentation. And then everybody started, we made sure that everybody started
Yes.
less panicking. And, there were a lot of people who came out of SLS now and they're doing very well, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think like Taba now is
yeah,
is
exactly,
head
yeah.
of sales in Rack Properties.
Yeah.
Congrats,
So
Taba.
yeah,
so like
it was a good school.
Shipe.
Yeah.
So we're starting something
But
interesting.
also we had
We'll announce it soon.
great leaders as well. I mean, our CEO and our
Sure.
development director, they were, very supportive in the lines of people were firing, and letting go of people. We were there. Yes, it did affect our earnings and so on, but at least we were there and we kept it. And
Sure.
then after that, we triumphed. So we had great story. And once we moved to the hotel, it was just a beautiful, experience altogether, right?
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, but we nailed it.
We nailed
Congrats.
it. We nailed it, buddy. We nailed
Congrats,
it. We did.
congrats,
We did.
congrats.
We did.
Fantastic. So now let's discuss which areas in Dubai do you believe have massive potential in the next 3 to 5 years? I want to
Okay.
pick your brain with that.
Sure.
Very analytical, and I love that.
I am not pro desert. I'm pro coastal line.
Okay.
So I don't go
Interesting.
and buy a property in the desert and say, "Oh, this is incredible because it's next to the airport." For all due respect, next to the airport is not a great thing. All over the world, the farms are next to the airport. The outskirt places are next to the airport, which is not bad, but it should not be at a high value, and it doesn't appreciate.
That's actually fantastic point you're bringing it. I'm telling that to everyone that everyone is pitching Dubai South. So sorry, I'll interrupt. It's not interruption.
No,
I
it's
mean,
good.
let's-
It's good. I don't want to say the
let's,
names. You say the
no.
names. I'm not saying
No,
any names.
I'm not, let's talk about this is real talks, right?
Okay.
We're not naming the developers or saying something
Yes.
bad, but
Yes,
we're
and the
talking about
area.
the agents who are saying that because of the airport, this area will boom. It's not because of the airport. It's because of the business opportunities, the companies that they will move there, the cargo thing. I mean, this will boom.
Correct.
Yes, the area, but not the airport. And I 100% agree with you.
Yeah.
You don't buy something very close to airport. So
And
it
think
doesn't
that
make
this
sense.
is, I mean, it could be a successful project, but that is not related to this.
Yes,
now,
exactly.
Dubai waterfront, for example, and Jabal Ali Hills and Jabal Ali Palm and all the way to Ghantout, yes, I would say because the airport is going to function there 20 minutes down in the desert, and by 2030, then this will change the demographic and the environment. You have to change an environment. Imagine yourself. Right now, you have 2 kids. MashaAllah. Two kids.
two.
Still two.
Still two.
MashaAllah. God bless them.
Thank you.
And
Thank you,
you go to their schools, you go to the academy,
Yeah.
you go to their sports, you go to their tutoring, you go to the hospital nearby,
Yes.
your clinics, you go to your shopping, you have an environment that you are used to. You have to create that environment in an area that is coming up in order for it. Once it comes up and you have all that shifts people. People don't just shift. People will not just go to Palm Jabal Ali just because it's beautiful villa on the beach. It has to have, somebody's paying 20 million and he's not going to go move in the desert. He's going to go move into the next happening area because everything else is happening around you. So the airport coming 20 minutes behind, that's a great thing, but not
Yes.
right attached to it. Now,
Sure, I agree with you.
talking about positivities, I believe that Dubai Island and Dubai Waterfront are the next happening places simply because if you compare the prices today to the Palm Jumeirah, which is a beachfront, forget about that it's in the shape of a palm. It's a beachfront community. It's
Yes.
one of the very few beachfront communities that you can buy and you can live. So that's Palm. So now Palm, you're talking about in Tiara or Oceana, the 1 bedroom is over 4.5 million, 4.2 to 4.7 million, right? The 2 bedrooms are 6 million. And then the shoreline apartments also reach to 4.5, 4.2, 4.3 million for 1 bedrooms. Now I'm telling you that in Dubai Island, you can get incredible projects which are 15 years, 16 years, 17 years more advanced in technology because all these projects have been built 17 years ago, 13 years ago, 14 years ago. And they will be delivered with a brilliant, it's an island that has 2 golf courses and a beach and a mall. I mean, and other things, of course. So it's beautiful island, much better than any other island, right? If you go to anywhere in the world, if you go to Seychelles and if you go to Mauritius and you see these islands that have a golf course and homes and so on, Wow. So you'll have that first time in Dubai and a beach. And guess what? It is minutes away from Sharjah. So people who live in Sharjah on the coast and they cannot buy, now they can. And it's 11, 12 minutes with the new bridge from the IFC. So people who are living on the Palm, but they commute to the IFC, they have to drive 25 minutes or 30 minutes every day, sometimes 40 minutes, right? Now one bridge connecting directly, there is no traffic lights, 11, 12 minutes you're there. So, and guess what? It's 30%, 40% cheaper than the Palm. True. It's 50% cheaper than the Palm. So here is one. Dubai waterfront. I'm not going to talk about Maritime City. I don't like it. No, that's not for me. Sorry. With all respect to all the developers there, it's not for me. It's not. It's just
we're discussing opinions.
It's a GVC on steroids on the beach. That's it. For me, I like Maritime to go for my kids when they have DXB roll and all that stuff. But I don't like the area. I like dry docks to look at it, but not to live next to it. And it's just busy. Okay? I don't like that. So I'm not promoting that. It's too many towers. There is no look and feel. Like Dubai Island, you have restrictions. 7 stories in the front line, 12 stories, 15 stories. You have restrictions on how to build, what to build, and the design and the roads. Everything is well planned. And a lot of resorts, 5-star resorts, hotels.
But I'm not 60-something hotels, right?
I'm not a fan of Maritime. But Dubai Island, Dubai waterfront, that's another place. Where you have Jabal Ali, there is a massive sand area that they used to call it back in 2006, twice the size of Hong Kong. All is going to be developed as well. Yes. So when you have all these two, why would I go and invest in the desert? Whether it's next to 311, whether it's next to 611, whether it's next to Al Khil, whether it's next to Expo. It's a great place, but I would invest in coastal line at the same price that's available right now in the desert. So that's my take.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah. All right.
I hope I did not make anybody upset.
No.
I'm sure a lot of people are happy.
I like to pick different opinions. This is opinion, and it actually you justify it with facts and numbers. And I agree with you in a way that the waterfront communities, these projects, they always historically, everywhere in the world and in Dubai, we've seen that they've appreciated the most.
Absolutely.
So there are numbers and facts which justify your opinion, and I respect that.
Thank you.
Let's talk about branded residences, because now there is we will not mention the brand names, of course, because out of respect, But I want to talk about the branded residences and pick your brain about.
I understand what you're saying.
Fashion brands, versus fashion / I would say car brands.
Okay.
Without mentioning the name.
Yes.
And versus hospitality brands.
Correct.
So what do you think? I mean, like this trend.
I actually had an article. I actually had an article written on LinkedIn about which is the art and science behind branded residence. Having obviously the experience and the privilege to work with a branded residence, and I worked with Accor, the branded residence team. So I learned a lot from them as well, and so on. So there's two what I call the second one. I call it endorsed residence rather than branded residence. So endorsed residence, by definition, my own definition, is that I would get a name. That name will purely help me to sell, and that's it. It ends at this. Now, I could be taking, if it's a fashion brand that has furniture shop existing, then I could brand that, the units and furnish them with that furniture. If it's a branded residence that has some element of leather and some sort of a famous stuff about it, then it's all about interiors that looks. So again, it's all about just absorption rate for a developer to sell faster. But what is the definition of branded residence? Is services, hospitality.
Correct.
A hotel group that has been working for the past 30, 40, 50, 60 years have had and gained experience of operation, of services that people are looking for, from concierge to it's not hiring a third-party company and then say, hey, I have concierge and valet, and I can also give you a la carte service. That is fine. That is a third-party company, like you have it in Airbnbs and holiday homes, right? But having a hotel name to it You get, first of all, a benefit of the hotel. So you get like on the highest membership with them across the world. But also you get a hotel that knows how to operate hotels successfully and are generating trillions of dollars in revenues or over years of their experience in the market through customer satisfaction.
Exactly.
Guest satisfaction. Then they come in and they create that. So that's a longevity. So you have the endorsement part because they have all the specs. When a hotel comes in play, they say, okay, I want you to build the unit in this form, design, the layouts like has this, the furniture has to have this, the flow of the cars, the garbage chute has to be there, where we will exit this, where we will enter that.
The standards.
They get involved in
standards,
everything, but also they get involved in post-sales and everything. And they make, by the way, hotels, they make a profit. Hotels endorse brands, everything. They make a 0.5% on every sale. So they're keen on absorption, but they also get involved. That's the two differences. So one will make you sell fast, but not necessarily make you a profit. And one will, or justify your increased price. Putting a 2-bedroom for 16 million, why? So it justifies it. But when in reality, when it gets ready and people move in, they will go and prefer the hotel residence, the actual branded residence, because they will actually see an experience. So everything when it's ready gives you the real results.
Yeah. So basically, you're not a fan of, and you don't promote and you don't offer to your clients fashion/car brands residences.
If I'm only
you don't see value.
If I don't have the branded residence, if I don't have the hotel branded residence, and I'm only having the car or the fashion, then I will look at their pricing level. I will look at their projections over the years. I will look at their flexibility in being managed. What are the prices expected in the market surrounding them? I will be cautious, but I would offer it if I don't have the hotel residence. I would offer it, but it has to fit. I have a checklist of value versus volume, quality of service.
I agree with you. So for me, I mean, with my all due respect, for all the developers and brands, I agree with you 100%. And I think we both have this experience.
Yes, we do.
We've sold at SLS, the address, the big brands, which have the hospitality background.
Yes.
And I'm with you 100%. I see the value in them and I can confidently offer it. But fashion and car brands, I'm very...
Look at Scar's value.
I don't see value in them.
Look at Scar's value.
Personally.
If you have a car brand or a fashion brand that has 2,000 units in one tower, that's a lot. There is no scarce value anymore. What's branded residence is all about exclusivity. It's all about service. It's all about uniqueness. And what's exclusive to have 2,000 units in one building? Right?
Yeah.
That's. But I mean, again, look, we have a saying that says, if the goods are the same, if the taste is the same, the goods will spoil. إذا اتفقت الأذواق لبارت السلع. Meaning that if everybody's taste is the same, then nobody will sell and only one project will be selling. So people some people, they love these car brands. They just want to be a part of it and nothing else. So
as a trophy asset, someone wants to buy certain car brand residences. I have no issue with that. But personally, I wouldn't
be
push
front
for it. And
I
will say, okay, if you want, there's nothing wrong with that. And don't get us wrong, there's nothing wrong with that. But it's just our opinion.
Yes,
that
correct.
We prefer, you and I agree with you. We prefer hospitality brands.
Yes.
Okay, so there are a lot of noise lately.
Yes.
With tariffs, with the trade war, the stock market is crashing, crypto is crashing.
Yes.
So what is your opinion on that, and what do you think? How will it affect, or will it affect at all Dubai real estate market?
Okay. That's a great question, and I love this question because that's what I've been talking and training my team about for the past few weeks now. First, let's identify. I love the word. I love the fact that you used the word noise.
Yeah.
So first, we have to look at a few different fundamentals. The first one is, how can we analyze a market?
Yeah.
A lot of people are looking. There's an article in the news saying, this month we dropped in price. Is it justifiable to look at months on months? It is never justifiable. There is no economist in the world that will ever look at a months on months dip. It is trajectory of multiple years,
Yes.
right? Or at least a year. So if we're looking at the trajectory of year on year, January, we were 37% year on year last year. March now, we are 29% year on year. We are 140 billion in this quarter and about 45,000 transactions,
Yes.
which is about 21 year on year increase from quarter one 2024. So look at multiple, because noise is a change of pattern. There was Ramadan. Maybe people were volume of transactions, value maybe was less. That doesn't mean that the price went down, because the prices in the palm went even further up in the apartments, maybe not in the villas, but the volume is still high. So you look at volume, okay? Volume carries the value and carries the amount of people buying, right? So you need to look at that. That's very important. You need to be strong enough and smart enough, and maybe work with me, come join Black Oak, and you will get to know these numbers and how to analyze them all the time. So you need to have that knowledge. A lot of people who work in the banking world, and people who write press releases or write in the news and stuff like that, they're not really well educated. They just read numbers, take numbers as a macro level. They don't put it at a micro level, and then they say, oh, it's coming this or it's coming that, because negative news sells faster, right? So they want to have an opinion. So first fundamental, we look at multiple years. Year on year, we are incredibly growing. Yes, there is last month, March, we were minus 6% from months on months from February, but from last year, we are 29%. Now, second part we need to look at, which tells us an answer about the tariffs. And I will explain the tariffs, but we have to explain first the implications of what's happening right now. We look at another number which is very important, which is, what is the off-plan versus ready? Why? Because ready properties are usually for residents. Usually, not entirely, not exclusively, but usually for people who live here. Off-plan are usually favorable for overseas clients, because investors from overseas, they want to pay on payment plan. So it's favorable for them. So now, if you look at this month, we are last month, 67% of the transaction were in off-plan. And guess what? 84% of the total transactions of ready were cash, not mortgage. But the mortgage were super high. Mortgage were 14 billion, something like that. Can't remember the number, but it was in the billions. And that's a quarter. Super high doesn't mean that the mortgages dropped. Mortgage increased than last quarter. Increased, right? Because the interest rate reduced a little bit. But the cash represents 84%. Right? Because people tell you 50-50. No, it's 84% was in for that. So when we look at the number of transactions from overseas, then we see that we have a saying مصائب عند قوم مصائب قوم عند قوم فوائدهم, meaning that the catastrophe of some is the benefit of others. We have a stable economy over here. We have pegged to the dollar. We are huge population growth, massive population growth. That population growth is the fundamental key for any thrive of any economy. Then for that, we don't have unemployment. 2.6% for their population, Emirati population, is a negligible number, right? So there is no unemployment. So there is no burden on the country. So you can stimulate more, put more. They're putting more infrastructures, more projects and industrial projects and service projects to bring in more revenues over here. So you're quite well. So that's the second key factor to look at. That, because 67% of is an off-plan, so a lot of people are moving their money here. Smart money moves fast. I have problem with the stock market is crashing. Let me take my money into the fastest, safest asset. What is it? Real estate. Exactly. And where it's now the country that is most safe? UAE. So now, what's happening about with the tariffs? This is a trade war. It's not actually a tariff, because tariff is a tax over products consumed. What is happening right now is that President Trump or the administration of the US, what they've done is they created something called trade deficit. So trade deficit is, I import from you, let's say 700 million, you're importing from me only 50 million, okay? So I will subtract this, divided what you're importing from me, and then out of good gesture, I'm gonna half it by 50%. That's basically the calculation that they came up with. It doesn't make any sense, because it doesn't put in the emotions of buying, the supply chain, For example, I have a very funny story about the tariffs, which is the guacamole, right? The guacamole price is now going to increase very much, quite a lot, from Mexico. And who's paying for this is going to be the US, because they export the highest amount of guacamole ever. All right. And now they're putting tariff on this, okay? And which makes the guacamole for the consumer in the US more expensive. Not only, if you look at, vanilla, vanilla they make baking food from it, ice cream, everything. Madagascar is the highest vanilla export in the world, I think, or something like that. So, but it's a very poor country as well. So the US takes a lot of vanilla from Madagascar, and now they are putting tariffs on it. So when you put tariffs on it, the ones who are making baking has to increase their margin or reduce their margin. So people will not be able to buy it in the US. Okay, so you won't get the ice cream anymore. So they're affecting themselves in a way.
No ice cream in the US.
No ice cream, no vanilla ice cream. Yeah, so I'm bullish for 2025 on the market. Stock market is crashing, but the economy is not crashing. The stock market is resetting because of all this panic. People are losing money, but it's induced. All the rich people are knowing this. They're selling. I mean, Mr. Warren Buffett, he sold all his shares in, I don't know which one, ETFs or something.
6-8 months ago.
No, now as well in the ETFs or something, he sold all his shares. He's a smart guy. He said in the news, when a reporter asked him, so who is going to be making more money in this? He said the rich people.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
always the case.
So we're good with Dubai. People, or the UAE, people are investing here. They built a very safe ecosystem for finance and for security. And people are moving here. So in the short term, we're still bullish, in my opinion.
Fantastic. Okay, we almost, unfortunately, 1 hour.
I want to sit more with you.
I want to sit even more, but I think there are so many things. We covered main things. We got to know you, your personal, stories and stuff. So which is great for our audience, because you're a famous guy now. But not everyone knows that.
You're more famous than me, by the way, on social media. You got hundreds of thousands of followers on millions of views. I'm on my highest view was 40,000, and then the rest are 4,000, 5,000 views.
Now you'll have more views.
You have million. Yes. Am I gonna have my hashtag?
Of course.
Press here, click here. Yeah,
I'll put the details of Riad on the description down below. Yes. If you have any questions, you can comment. You can follow him, all his Instagram and everything for sure. I'll do that.
Famous.
I'll do that.
Now I'm going to be famous.
And before we finish, I have this rapid quiz, questions, which is you don't need to think. It's not scripted. It's just whatever comes to your mind. Okay. Let's do it. Shoot. It's fun. Let's finish with fun.
Shoot.
So, okay. Being a broker or developer?
Broker.
One deal you wish you never did? Whatever comes to your mind.
Wow.
We can skip that. Come back later. Difficult question.
Difficult question.
Okay, let's skip that. We'll skip that. Dinner with Elon Musk or listing with Cristiano Ronaldo?
Listing with Halala. Oh, wow. That's another very
strong. That's a good question.
I was going to go straight to Cristiano Ronaldo. So let's go with Cristiano Ronaldo.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yes.
Perfect. Biggest real estate red flag? Client who say budget is flexible, or agent who say, trust me, bro.
Trust me, bro.
Okay. Your real estate superpower in one word?
Kindness.
What's worse, lowball offers or no-show clients?
No-show client.
Okay. 3 a.m. call from a client. Answer or ignore?
I'm gonna answer. Sorry, that's me.
Sorry, Olympia.
I don't recommend anybody to do that. There should be boundaries, but I like to answer.
Okay. If real estate disappeared tomorrow, what would you do next?
Acting.
Nice. I like that. One word that describes working with me.
Oh my God.
One word.
Whatever dedication and loyalty and elegance in how you're dressed.
Oh, thank you. That's a good compliment.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Final one. Describe Dubai real estate in 2025 in just one word.
Bullish.
I'm bullish.
All
right. Thank you very much, Riad, for coming to my
podcast.
I love
this
is not the last one. It's one of the first.
I want to do this every time.
I'll invite you soon whenever you have
Thank you, RealCast.
the opportunity. Yeah, RealCast. Make sure you guys subscribe, follow us, like, share this if you find it informative. I'm sure, I mean, we brainstormed today. Today we really picked Riyad's brain. I mean, I like to sit with him and discuss real estate. It's fantastic. Yeah. It's fantastic. And I promise that we're going to share what happened in the beginning, but actually nothing serious happened.
Nothing serious happened. Wait.
Do you remember?
Nothing. We love each other. Look at this. Look at this.
We just tricked you. So just to watch till the end. Okay, thank you very much, Riad.
Thank you
again. Good
for
luck.
having me. It's an honor.
Yeah, good luck in your career, in the with the show and everything. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much, and it's an honor. And thank you for having me.
See you next time.